This video will briefly touch on report format. There's a lot to report format, but it is critical to driving what you see within your portlet. The report format button is right here. When you click it, it opens up the report format window, which is in 3 parts, and I'll explain these parts in this video. The first section here is your columns. As you're considering a report format, there's 2 critical things to ask. The first is, what information are you trying to see? And then what information do you need displayed when the results appear? The first is what's appear. That's the columns here. These columns can be adjusted. If I decide that I don't need the hot load column, for instance, I can simply click the red X here, and it'll remove that column. You can add other columns if I determine here I've got the carrier name. Perhaps I need to show a phone number. The green plus button adds another field below where you're clicking. So if I click here, I can then select, as an example, carrier phone. And you can see here now it's inserted it just below carrier name. There are up and down arrows that you can also move this. Let's say I want to put the owner in front of load number, so I can simply click the arrow next to it, and it shifts it above. If I click use now, you can see in the changes now my owner is the first column. The column that I added for carrier phone number is right here. If I click report format again, just to show the next section of report format is the sort section. Right now I'm sorting by owner plus, which plus is ascending A to Z. So you can see my owner names are being sorted right now, A through Z. I can remove the sort by clicking the red X next to it or the clear button just above it. If I clear my sort and want to add a different sort, I can click the green plus. And every field that you see displayed has both a plus and a minus. Minus would be inverted. So Z through A, as an example, if it was alphabetized. You can also pick dates. I could use, as an example, create date minus. If I click that here, that adds my sort. And if I want to display that column as well, I could throw it right here next to owner, just to demonstrate how this is sorting. If I display my create date and click use, now you can see that I'm displaying the last thing that I created to the oldest thing I created. And under report format button, the filter section is the section that really controls what you see. And is probably the hardest to understand. I would encourage people to get with your super user or IT, but I'm going to briefly cover what we're looking at here. The first section, it's in 3 sections in this one window. First one is the field. So the first field I'm looking at here is create date. The center section here is your operator, and each of these controls how that field you've selected relates to the data on the right side here that you're asking. So in this case, create date from day -5, 0 would mean everything back 5 days from today through today's date. If you enter bad data here, as an example, if I use actual date of 1/20/2015 and hit use, it's not going to display anything because it doesn't know how to translate from day into a day. If I wanted an actual date like that, I could use equals, select that date again, hit use, and now, because I'm asking the right question, the computer gives me an answer. So in many cases, if you don't get a response, it's usually because you've keyed something in properly in the filter section. There's more to cover here. I would certainly say once you've built your reports, you can save them. Clicking Save pops up a window. This is specific just to you. You would enter the name of the report that you want to keep. You can then scope it to just private everywhere, which means you'd have it available anytime you were at any level in the system. If you click Private Everywhere, give it a name, and checkbox this show in this window only, it would only appear in the board you're developing this view in. In this case, I'm on the one board, so the only board that I would see this particular report would be the one board if I check the box and click Save. And that is a brief description of report format. We will probably go into more detail in a later video.